Good morning. Happy Thursday. This is a kind of a TLDR of the hour-long video I made responding to a 10-minute video of Chili's. Anyway, long story short, his video was just a sales pitch for his poster. He was trying desperately to shoehorn an issue that he knows is popular in the First Amendment auditing community into his poster. His poster is not related to it at all, and that's what the huge disconnect was. Chili hasn't studied anything about why there aren't cameras in the courtroom, any Supreme Court cases or state law cases or anything regarding when, why, if, where there should be cameras in the courtroom, etc. So he probably also doesn't understand the interplay between your Fifth Amendment right to due process, and that would entail, a fair hearing, not with everybody being distracted by trying to film, and the court's requirements for decorum and, to control the environment that you're in. He has no idea the way any of that plays out. In addition, another thing that I found, I didn't mention this in the video because it was already an hour long, and honestly, I didn't think of it until this morning on my drive to work, was Chile, like many sovereign citizens, is focused entirely on the federal side of things. Entirely. He has Supreme Court cases, and he mixes in a few state court cases that he doesn't really understand because he's dumb. But he's thinking along Supreme Court lines. He's looking at federal acts. The 1994 crime bill, the 1986 omnibus, the 1968 omnibus crime bill, something like that. Anyway. He's looking at federal things. And then he's pointing to this graph of his version, Chili Facts, this graph of the prison population. And his graph is close. It's close enough that I don't really care at this point for this discussion. But let's say there are about 2.5 million people. I think it's a little less. But let's just say 2.5 million people. Federal prisoners, federal inmates in the federal system account for about $150,000. It goes up some years, it goes down other years, but it's about $150,000. About $150,000. Give or take. California, just California, solamente California, has about 200,000 people at any given time in either county jail or state prison. Pointing to the federal laws, federal criminal laws, and federal court decisions does not explain that spike because that federal level is still only about 150,000 people in the federal penitentiary systems, the federal prisons, including misdemeanants. So it doesn't make any sense. But let's get to the point of this video. A lot of people in the First Amendment auditing community have been grasping like a baby towards this thing that they don't understand, towards filming in courtrooms. So I'm going to pose this question to the community. And you know what? If Chili wants to answer this, I would love to hear Chili's answer. What specifically would you do? What benefit would you gain by being able to film in court? What would you be able to do with that film, with that video and audio? What would you be able to do with it once you got it? That's the problem. That's the problem that none of you seem to understand. Everybody's like, oh, transparency, blah, blah, blah. Your video that you recorded in court is not something an appeals court is going to consider. There is a huge advantage to having a written transcript. That person in the corner is taking down everything you say. It's taking down everything the witnesses say. He or she is taking down everything the judge says. Shorthand. It's a skill. They can type really fast. And sometimes they'll be like, oh, slow down, because they're trying to keep up with you. But they give you a transcript, and that transcript is word searchable. If it's not electronic, then there will be an appendix at the back with every single word in that transcript and the page number that word appears on. So if you're looking for First Amendment, you flip to the back. unless it's a word searchable PDF. If it's on paper, you flip to the back, you go to the index, and you find First Amendment, and it'll tell you what pages it appear on, and then you can flip to those pages and you can read it. Super easy, super quick. You can highlight portions that you want the court to consider. Highlight the section and hand it to them. And it also comes in an official transcript. There's an official transcript, i.e. one that goes directly from the court reporter to the Court of Appeals. It's the official one. They also give you an official one that you would turn it. It's a sealed one that you would turn into the trial court if you were going to use a deposition transcript to impeach witnesses or something like that. So, but you have an official transcript, and that precludes things like editing, because we all know videos can be edited, and that's a problem. The appeals courts aren't there to try issues of fact, and an issue of fact would be the authenticity of the video. Who recorded it? When was it recorded? How was it recorded? On what equipment was it recorded? Where specifically was the recording taking place? There's all these factual issues that you would have to establish to say that this is a genuine recording. That those factual issues are normally dealt with in a trial court when you're trying to introduce something as evidence. But if you have this video that you're taking at the trial court level and you want to introduce it to do something, where are you going to introduce it? You're going to end up with the exact same issue that all these sovereign citizens are running into, where they surreptitiously record their court proceeding, and all they can do is post it on YouTube. And the people who believe all the sovereign citizen things think, gosh golly, the judge was corrupt. And all the people who understand what's going on in the court are like, oh, that sovereign citizen was an idiot. He didn't understand the words the judge was saying. And that's why we have lawyers, because lawyers understand the words. Like duty. Cops have no duty to protect. What does it mean? Duty has a specific meaning, and it doesn't mean what you think it means in common parlance. If a court says there is a duty to do something, that means that you could sue for it. That means you can sue for it. If there's no duty to do it, that doesn't mean there's no obligation or responsibility on the part of the party to do it. It just means that they can't be sued over it. And people get that together and put it, understand what's going on. And so you have people like Chili pointing at stupid things on a poster that he put together and photoshopped poorly, and saying, oh, this is important. Well, why is it important? Well, I don't know. I don't really understand the words that are in it, but it's important. Anyway, that's all. That's my rant for today. Thank you for watching and have a great day.